So hi there and welcome to another episode of Fact Fiend Focus. Rather than do the usual spiel for the introduction, we're going to get straight into it. Today we're talking about the best fuck you power-up moments. Oh yeah, these videos are drinking videos. These are always drinking videos. So here's some gin for Brad. So, Brad, if you'd like to introduce the concept to the people at home while I take a sip of my drink.
Yes, today the topic of our focus discussion shall be moments in movies, games or other media.
See, any media where there is a fuck you power-up moment.
You took away my explanation.
I'm sorry.
As Karl said, it's the fuck you power up moment. It's a moment when someone clearly who has more power than they're showing.
They've been letting on.
Yeah, they unleash it in order to just say fuck you to the person they're fighting. Whether or not they succeed depends on the scene they're in.
Yeah, but it's irrelevant. The idea is we're talking about those best moments when someone's, you know what? I've been holding back, and now you've unleashed the dragon, and the dragon's gonna whoop your fucking ass. And I think the atypical example that we always go to in all our video is the ROC League Era fight.
They're taking the limiters off.
It's literally taking the limiters off, and it's the best example of the trope of I've been wearing weighted clothing all along, because it's a trope in Dragon Ball, like Goku wears his weighted gi, takes it off, it weighs a few £100. Piccolo wears like his weighted turban, throws it to a guy, he catches it and falls down. No, ROC Lee wears weighted leg weights, and a character in the episode even looks at the guy who trains and goes, really? Leg weights? Aren't they like what beginner ninja do? And then he does the best he just drops the weights, and it's like a nuclear explosion erupts from the ground around him. And then ROC Lee just goes, much better. I can move freely now after he's already been running like 1,000 miles an hour. And he proceeds to just use instant transmission drop kicks on Gaara's asshole for 5 minutes straight. That moment is just so fun. And even though ROC Lee loses, in my eyes, Naruto, it ended there. That's when, because it will never get more hype than ROC Lee just going, you know what? I've ascended. I am now one with the speed force. And he's teleporting around, delivering just endless kicks to the face to a guy made of sand. It's like, this is like the triumph of what anime can become. So, Brad, in that vein, what similar examples of like another character in media doing that can you think of that's like a personal favourite of yours?
Well, my immediate springing off point, considering we're talking about anime and someone who, because ROC Lee doesn't win that fight.
No, he does not.
So I want to jump over to One Punch Man. And the fight with Lord Boris, because Lord Boris has like 8 of these moments where he just says fuck you over and over again.
In the first 5 minutes of the episode, he says to camera basically like, I have finally unleashed my ultimate mega power for the 3rd time in 2 minutes against this man who is stood there completely nonchalant, not reacting to anything I've done whatsoever. I know it's not realistic, but I love in media where someone gets punched and the person who punches them runs along and before they reach their destination kicks them up into the air and then hits them back down. And Lord Boris does that like 3 times. He does the best one in media because he kicks Saitama all the way to the fucking moon. Like the show stops. Everything in it stops while you see like all the force being connected with Saitama's dick hole as he flies off at 1,000,000 miles an hour into the surface of the moon. Now the thing is, I love that show for that because like every episode Saitama fights someone, the enemy he fights has that power up moment, and it's just like the most flaccid finish to it. I think like Speed of Sound Sonic goes, I'm going to assume my ninja mega form 100 miles, and then he gets uppercut him in a nutsack. It's like slow motion nutsack uppercut by accident. What I'm going to throw one out that I think is just as hype, but not many people consider to be a fuck you power up moment. That is the moment in Space Jam where they all drink Michael's secret stuff. And obviously, which is just water, but where the Looney Tunes think we have now got the power of steroids. Because obviously Bugs Bunny does the huge steroid buffness. And then for that moment where they're fighting against the Monstars in the basketball game, they all, every single Looney Tunes member gets their moment. You have like Elmer Fudd and Yosemite Sam do the Pulp Fiction thing. They shoot a guy's teeth out. You get the bull that comes in and you get an assist from the audience doing that thing. And I love that bit. I love just that moment where all the Looney Tunes just basically become Dragon Ball characters.
It's a parody on like that moment in all of those films.
Yeah,
isn't
in
it?
all the
with the
sports
speech
moves, yeah.
and the people getting that second wind.
But he gives everyone like a drink of water, and they all suddenly think they're fucking badass. To shift focus for a moment and like move to the medium of video games, there's a couple there we can talk about. I'm going to start with one that's like, it's a small moment in the game itself, but it's one that always like made me go, yeah, that's fucking hype as shit. And that is in Borderlands 2, when you go to rescue Bloodwing, like on behalf of Mordecai, and Bloodwing, spoilers, gets killed by Handsome Jack. And as you're leaving, you're getting shit talked by Handsome Jack, who's like, oh, I've composed like, a symphony for, Mordecai's Stupid Bird in E minor. And he plays like a really like sarcastic violin solo. And as you're about to leave the area, Handsome Jack goes, oh, no. You didn't think I'd let you leave alive, did you? And summons like 40 robots that are like always made to be above your character's level to the point where you're like, oh, I'm going to die. And then you hear from Mordecai, whose bird's just died, go, Vault Hunter, get down. And then you look to the mountain where he stood, and you just see him with his sniper rifle. And then you just hear him go, like basically going, oh, fuck you, as he just fires shot after shot after shot, and he one-shots every single giant robot without even trying. And you find something thinking, why didn't he do that? Like at the beginning, he could have saved everybody if he just got that.
Could have saved his bird.
Yeah, he could have saved anybody if he just like every time, like there was any sort of challenge or threat, he just did that. But like he obliterates every single robot with a pinpoint accurate sniper rifle round to the face. So that I don't suddenly go start talking about Metal Gear Revengeance again in another video, do you have an example from video games you'd like to discuss?
Well, I think I'm going to mention Vanquish just to see your face light up.
Oh, I love Vanquish, it's so good. So people who not play Vanquish, because not many people did, because that game didn't do well, you play as a guy called Sam Gideon who's got a robot suit, and your entire combat style revolves around sliding around your ass like a dickhead, and that's it. And you have like a set amount of power. And obviously, like, if you run out of power, like, your suit goes to cooldown mode and you're weak and you can't do anything cool. And at the end of the game, your character just says, to his help, remove my limiters. And that'll kill you. He's like, I don't care. And they triple or quadruple your power bar and double the speed you travel around while sliding on your asshole. And you can go so fast. And it only happens for the very final battle. But the idea that he goes, you know what? Remove the limiters, and just goes like a million miles an hour on his dick hole while firing a machine gun. It's the best.
I'm going to mention Soul Reaver because in Soul Reaver 2, right at the end of the game, you pick up the Soul Reaver blade.
Yes.
And you find out at that moment that Raziel's own soul, a different version of it from Time, is inside the blade. And as a result of
double
this,
Raziel action.
Yeah, and as a result of this combination, your health regenerates instantly.
So you
which
can't
means that you can't die. So the entire there's no agency to the final few fights apart from I need to murder these incredibly tough people, but I can't die.
Yeah.
So they're really good fights, even though that you're
because
you're
you know you can do whatever the fuck you want. Well, if you're mentioning Soul Reaver, I'm mentioning Super fucking Metroid, because you cut this bit out of a previous video that I got so hype at, and that's when Samus gets the hyper beam.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm gonna put your drink out. I'm gonna spill my drink.
Okay.
Because at the end of Super Metroid, you've had this Metroid that's been following you around the entire game, and the Metroid, obviously, it's your enemy, you got to kill it. But there's one Metroid that Samus rescued, and that remembers who you are. And you're fighting Mother Brain, a giant fucking dickhead brain who fires lasers at your face, and you get down to minimum health. And just as you're about to die, who the fuck comes in? But the Metroid comes in. It's like after you've been hyper being, you're down there, you're on your knees, you can't do anything. Metroid comes in, sucks out all of Mother Brain's energy, goes over you, starts giving you health back. But as you're getting your health back, what happens? Mother Brain starts coming back to life, and you see the life comes back inside, the dead eyes, this giant dinosaur brain. It starts firing shit at you. But the Metroid, it doesn't go. It doesn't go because you know what? You saved its life, it's going to save yours. And the Mother Brain kills the Metroid. But it dies and it fades onto Saturn. What happens? She absorbs the power. And what was the last thing the Metroid's attached to? Fucking Mother Brain. And what do you get? The fucking Hyper Beam. And for the rest of the game, all 3 minutes of it, you get the most powerful weapon in video game history, a fucking rainbow gun. And you fire rainbows at that fucking monster that killed the thing that saved your life, and you obliterate its asshole, and it can do nothing about it. The Hyper Beam is the hypest shit, literally, because it's given to you by a baby that you saved. So if we're talking about video games, before we move on again, I'm going to say God of War 2018. Have you played it?
No, I've got it.
Well, basically, throughout that game, you have you have Spartan Rage, which is like, you know, Kratos' ultimate ability, where he like taps into the rage of the Spartans, like, you know what, fuck you. And you get set cinematic moments in that game where you're getting your ass kicked, and then like, what's Kratos gonna do? You, the player, get the option, activate Spartan Rage, and no matter what is happening to Kratos, he will man the way through that damage to punch that motherfucker right in the face. And so I don't spoil the events of the game, I'll use the example from the very start of it, which is where you fight Balder, and he's whooping your ass, and you think, how do I beat this guy? And it comes up, Spartan Rage. Oh yeah, Kratos can do that shit, and you absolutely fucking wreck his arsehole, and then he survives. But you know what? You get to do it again, and again, and again, and eventually you do win.
Right, back to the mainstream. Mm-hmm. So, one of the ones I wanted to mention is Molly Weasley.
Oddly enough, yeah, because she, for some reason, is one of the most powerful witches in all of Harry Potter canon, despite the fact the majority of the books and the film, she is a housewife. The most magic we see her do is cleaning the dishes with magic. And then for some reason in the Battle of Hogwarts, I'm just going to fight on par with Voldemort's right-hand woman. I'm going to fight Bellatrix Lestrange to a standstill and fucking whoop her ass. I do like the moment that Molly Weasley gets where she says like, get away from her, you bitch, when she's fighting Ginny. So I like the idea that wizards know the word bitch. I mean, that's what I love the most. So I want to know, what other swear words do wizards know? Because we never hear any other swear words said by wizards. They usually sound like the weird like wizard equivalents.
Ooh, like a cauldron bum.
But it's like the other thing, apparently according to Rowling, like she had to edit the first couple versions of Harry Potter because Ron was supposed to swear all the fucking time.
He says bloody hell a lot.
Yeah, and whenever you see bloody hell, he was supposed to say something like fucking hell. Yeah. And I want to know, like, how much do the Weasley family swear? And also, why is Molly Weasley like an absolute G when it comes to like magic dueling? To end with, we're going to talk about what I think is my favourite example of this, and that's in Justice League Unlimited. And there's plenty of examples of like every hero in that show gets their moment, but I like the one where Flash just finally gets to show up why he's the greatest hero. Batman's cool, Superman's cool, but Flash in that show is like, he's a comic relief character mostly, but you think, he has access to the Speed Force. He can move at the speed of light. Realistically, he is the most powerful, capable hero in any situation because he can react to everything instantaneously, or at least from like, our perspective. And there's a part where he's fighting with Lex Luthor, who's combined with Brainiac, and Brainiac beats the entire Justice League handily, except for the Flash, who's like weakened but still alive. And like Lex Luthor gets him and he gets a gun. Because of course, like Lex Luthor and Brainiac, with all their powers, use a gun to shoot the Flash in the face, and the Flash, he runs away. Yeah. Like he runs, and you think, oh no, is the Flash running away?
He's running away in fear.
Yeah, he's running away in fear, and like Lex Luthor even says, like, oh yeah, run away, I see you, come on, I'm going to take over the world now. And then, 2 seconds later, the Flash comes from the other side and punches him in the head. And what's inferred there is that the Flash ran all the way around the world to punch Lex Luthor, and then, about 3 seconds later, another punch comes, and then another, and then another. When you see it from the perspective of the Flash, no, he is running around the entire world to deliver the most powerful punch possible. So basically, the Flash is he needs so much of a run-up, he needs the entire circumference of planet Earth to get the run-up to deliver a punch to a human-sized target. And then he gets so much speed energy in him, he just like fades into like the ether and just disappears into the Speed Force, and they have to like bring him back. But the idea, he runs so fast to deliver a punch that's so powerful that he just like disintegrates his own body. We love talking about hype-ass shit, and if we miss something that's like especially hype, I'd love to talk about another video with another drink.
Like a lot of hype things we miss out because they're too common. Like we know everyone will know them. We're trying to go for ones that are
we always, when we make these videos, we try to go for like a balance of stuff that people will know and stuff that maybe people won't know. But as always, thank you for watching, and we'll make another one of these next time I am not really, really drunk.
Expecto Patronads!